everybody, I hope you all are safe and sound. If you had seen my previous video, which was based on Jimmy's Robin, you will know that I had read from a book, The Magic Watering Can and Other Stories, written by Enid Blyton. And today I'm going to be reading from the same book and the story just after Jimmy's Robin, that is The Disobedient Doll. So, if you haven't seen my previous video, I will share the link down in the description box. So make sure you go and check that out. And don't forget to like this video, share it to the people who want to listen to more stories, and subscribe to support me and also to listen to stories every day. So this is a very short story and I hope you all like it. So let's start. The Disobedient Doll. The silly sailor doll never did as he was told. He was the silliest, most disobedient toy in the playroom. He just didn't care for anybody. The big teddy bear was the head of the playroom, and all the toys except the sailor doll took notice of what he said and were very careful to obey him. But the sailor doll only laughed at him. "Never ever play with matches," said the teddy bear. "They are very, very dangerous." So nobody did except the silly sailor doll. He found a matchbox and struck every single match in it. He even set fire to a piece of jigsaw and burned it all up. It was lucky that nothing else caught fire. The bear was very angry. "Now the children won't be able to finish the picture which that big of jigsaw belongs to," said the bear. "You are very naughty, sailor doll, and very, very silly." Another time the bear saw that some fireworks in a box had been put up into the toy cupboard ready for a party. "You must never play with these," he said. "They could go off and you would hurt yourself or someone else very badly." Well, of course, you can guess that the silly sailor doll at once got the box, opened it, and took out a firework. There were no more matches to light it with, and so he threw it at the wall. It went bang, threw out some silver sparks all over the red-haired doll, burned her hair, and then landed on the teddy bear. The sailor doll laughed till he cried at the poor burned doll, which really was horrible of him. The bear chased him all around the playroom, but he couldn't catch the bad sailor doll because he climbed up onto the windowsill. The big teddy bear was too fat to climb all the way up to there. "You wait," he said to the sailor doll. "One of these days you'll get a shock, sailor doll, and you'll deserve to." "And one of these days you'll get 100, said the sailor doll, laughing. "You got a funny one tonight, did you, Teddy?" "Don't take any notice of him," said the rabbit. "All he wants is to be noticed. Leave him alone and then maybe he will decide to become better." Well, it was true. The silly sailor doll hated not to be looked at and spoken to. He was very vain and loved to shock people. He tried all he could to make the toys notice him, but they just turned their heads away and wouldn't look at him at all. Then a new toy came to the playroom. It was a blue airplane. It belonged to Billy. The sailor doll was very interested in it, for he thought it must be wonderful to fly in the air like a bird. The airplane flew swiftly around the playroom and Billy was very pleased with it. He showed it to his sister Shirley. "Look," he said, "if you want to make it fly, you win this long elastic round and round and round and round underneath the airplane. Then you hold it up like this, let it go, and the elastic unwinds quickly and sends the plane flying through the air. Isn't it clever? All the toys thought that the airplane was marvelous, especially the sailor doll. That night they all stood round the blue plane and looked at it. "It would be quite easy to fly it," said the rabbit. "Just wind up the elastic and off it goes." "Nobody is to fly this airplane," said the teddy bear at once. "We might break it. It looked easy when we saw Billy doing it, but it might not be easy if we tried." "Very well, Teddy," said the toys. "We won't fly it." Only the sailor doll didn't promise. He just longed and longed to fly the airplane, and what was more, he longed to go with it. So whatever do you think he did? He went to the doll's swing in the corner and took away the little seat with ropes. The rabbit saw him and told the teddy bear. "Oh, don't take any notice of him," said the bear crossly. "He just wants some attention. He can't get into any mischief with the swing." But the sailor doll could. He tied the ropes of the swing seat to the underneath of the airplane. That was to be his seat, you see, when the airplane flew off. It would take the swing seat with it, and the sailor doll thought he would have a wonderful time flying round the playroom. Then the sailor doll wound up the elastic, pulling very tightly indeed. None of the toys looked to see what he was doing. They obeyed the bear and took no notice of him. Whirr! The airplane flew off in the air. Whirr! It flew all round the playroom, and the sailor doll flew too, sitting in the little toy swing seat below. My word, what excitement! Whirr! The airplane flew right out of the window and looked into the blackness of the night. "I say, we'll have to take a bit of notice now," cried the rabbit. "The airplane has gone out of the window, and that monkey of a sailor doll has gone with it." Crash! A loud noise came in at the window, and the toys went pale and looked at one another in fright. The airplane had crashed. "I suppose we shall just have to go and look for it," said the teddy bear. So they helped Teddy up onto the windowsill, and they all climbed out of the window and hurried to find the airplane. The teddy bear was clever enough to take Billy's little torch with him, and he switched it on and looked all around. "There's the airplane! Look!" cried the rabbit. And sure enough, there it was on the ground upside down. But there was no sign of the sailor doll anywhere. The toys looked at the plane. It didn't seem to be hurt at all. It had bumped into a holly bush and had fallen into the ground. The toys thought they could get it back into the playroom all right, but they couldn't untie the knots that tied the swing seat to the airplane. So they had to leave them, but they couldn't help wondering what Billy and Shirley would say the next day when they saw it. Then they heard somebody crying, and the bear flashed his torch about to find the sailor doll. Where do you think he was? Up in the prickly holly bush, hanging by his trousers. He had fallen out when the airplane had flown into the tree, and the prickles were holding him tightly. "Help me! Help me!" wept the sailor. "Get me down! The holly is pricking me dreadfully." "We can't possibly get you down," said the bear. "Who do you suppose is going to climb a prickly holly bush to rescue a bad doll like you? You'll have to stay there. I'm sorry, but we just can't help it." They all went back to the playroom carrying the airplane. They managed to get it in at the window. The sailor doll was left outside. It began to rain and he got wet. The rain trickled down his neck. The holly pricked him. He felt very cold and damp. He was frightened because a spider ran over him and asked if she could spin her web from his nose right down to his toes. "Why have I been so bad? Why did I disobey the bear?" he sobbed. "This really is dreadful. Now I'm getting a horrible cold. Oh, if I only could get back into the nice warm playground, I would never, ever be disobedient again." The rain stopped. The wind began to blow. How it blew! The holly bush shook from top to bottom. It stuck its prickles down into the doll harder than ever. The wind blew so hard that the doll was afraid of falling. He tried to take hold of the holly leaves to stop himself from falling, but they were so prickly that he had to let go, and down he went to the ground. The prickles tore his clothes as he went. The ground bumped him hard. At last he picked himself up, and sneezing and snuffling, he limped back to the playroom. He glanced in at the window. "Ah, there's the bold adventurer back again," said the teddy bear. "I hope you enjoyed yourself, Sailor Doll." "Well, I didn't," sniffed the doll. Shoo! Shoo! I'm wet, I'm cold, I'm torn, I'm prickles. Whatever shall I do?" "Get into the doll's coat and keep warm then," said the rabbit, who had a kind heart. "You look dreadful, Sailor Doll. I shouldn't be all surprised if you get thrown into the dustbin tomorrow." "Oh!" squealed the Sailor Doll in fright. He crept into the doll's cot and drew the bedclothes around him. He soon fell asleep, though he even sneezed in his sleep. Next day, Billy and Shirley found the swing seat tied under the airplane, and they guessed one of the toys had been for a flight. When they found the wet, torn Sailor Doll, they knew at once that it was he who had taken the airplane for a flight. Shirley gave him a good telling off. "You might have broken the airplane," she said. "Teddy, you were the head of the playroom. Just see that it does not happen again." But he doesn't need to bother, for the Sailor Doll has such a fright that he says he'll never be naughty or silly again. He will never play with the matches or fireworks or anything like that. And he still can't help sneezing every time he thinks of that horrible, cold, wet night. So that was it for this video. I hope you all liked it.